I guess this is Thursday morning. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the second part of why category analysis is such a big deal. So everybody get a piece of paper and let's ready to go. All right, so here we are. There we go. Got it worked out. Okay, everybody. So like I said, on last week we talked about not last week, on Tuesday, we talked about category assessment and why that's important, and it's one of the key drivers. So today, I want to share with you a little bit more. So as we talked about and mentioned, there are three key parts of your that you should focus your internet sales for, your e-com strategy when you're working with the major home decor and furniture companies, right? So we have been focusing on, let's just use a different color, on that sales aspect, right? Sales. And within that, we also have sales, marketing, and management. And we're going to talk about those at a later time. But when we break down sales, we've broken it down into three key areas that you need to focus on, right? So it's long-term growth plan, distribution, and competitive assortment. So last week it was competitive assortment, or Tuesday we talked about competitive assortment, and then we drilled down into that and we talked about how you needed to do a category assessment. So let's talk about this a little bit more. We want to talk about some of the things that are potentially like make us overwhelmed and why we don't want to, or we're hesitant to move forward, right, in some of these new directions. And one of the biggest fears we can have is, oh, sorry, hold on, I'm having a little tech problem. It's that we're afraid of spending the money and, we don't know if it's going to be the right way. And we're just all a little bit, in a dither. You like that word? In a dither about that. So what we want to do is help you work through that and not have those problems. So I'm looking for a little piece of information that's going to help this. So y'all give me just 1 second. Okay. All right. So, all right, there we go. Okay, so we're afraid, that we're gonna be, when we're looking at how we can grow our sales and maybe some of the things that help us kind of hold us back from that. We're afraid of putting money where, we don't want to spend good money after bad. We're afraid that things are not going to sell. And, it can be really, really kind of overwhelming. And we run into some of the problems of, you think, well, if I invest this way, I might, have slow moving inventory, my cash flow's tied up, and we lose money over the long term. But you need to really focus on what you really want. And what you want is consistent order flow. And if you don't spend the time and the energy and the effort and the money investing in your business, then you're not going to have that consistent order flow, right? So you want to look at what are the opportunities that I have. Well, so a couple of the opportunities you have by taking the time and investing in your good category assortment, why you want a good catalog and make sure your products are in the right way, is that you want to make sure you can get yourself ranked higher in the search pages, and you want to get more products that you get reviews for. You need, lots of product reviews. It's a huge thing. And obviously you want more orders. So when you do all of those things, you can be really successful, and you can be like a company that we know that they actually doubled down on all of these things and were able to use the algorithm to their advantage. So we'll talk about this, more in depth at another time about specific keys of the algorithm. But some of the big ones that you want to think about are, what moves and what makes the algorithm work, right? So the algorithm works in your favor when you focus on imagery, copy and content, and SEO. You want to have a good price that's competitive, and you want to be able to get those reviews, right? So a lot of times when your product goes live on a site, and a Wayfair, for example, and other retailers do this too. But what they'll do is they'll give it, oh, bless you. What we'll do is they give you an automatic advantage and bump you up at least 50% in the search algorithm because they know it's a new item and they need to compete against everything, right? So you want to take that a step further, and we want to take some tweaks to make that algorithm work for you even more. So, and we can talk more about we've got lots of experience with people doing that. So when we look, I'm going to switch back to this. So when we look back at the category, you're making sure you have competitive products, right, in your category. We talked about how you wanted the market analysis. You need good pricing. You need to really focus in on the right customers. You need to do a lot of research to make sure you can get those reviews. And what we've been talking about is algorithm. So how can we really use that algorithm even further? Well, one of the things that you want to do is after new product goes live, you want to put a TPC in place. I don't know if you're familiar with what a TPC is, but it's a temporary price cut. When you participate and do a temporary price cut, that automatically, because it's a decreased price, will push those items up even further in your in the first couple of pages. The other thing you want to do is make sure that to use the algorithm in your advantage, you want to make sure you participate in as many promotions as you can, because promotion participation is one of those other key little factors. You want to make sure that you don't go out of stock on any item, because when you go out of stock and out of item, you lose all of the search history. So that's super important. And because your search history is what gets you there in the first place, right? So, excuse me, you want to make sure that you stay in stock so that you don't lose your search history. Another thing that you want to do, and you know what? Let me just I'm going to switch here, and let's add a little bit of paper here so we can. Okay, I'll figure this out. So what we want to do is you want to make sure that we can put you in a good spot, and that you really know how to, use the algorithm. And so what are some of the things that we want to do to use the algorithm? Okay, got it. All right, so like I said, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure when you have new products, I'm going to put it like this, you want to do a TPC, which TPC, right, Heather, which is the temporary price cut. Okay, that's huge. You want to make sure that you're doing that. When you do that, you're being able to really, maximize the advantages that the sites already give you. So after that, you want to make sure that you have all of the number of images that help in the copy and content, because that's also going to help you get reviews. And the purpose of the TPC is to bump you up so that your product gets clicks and conversions and you get those reviews. You also want to make sure that you participate in all of the possible promos. When you do that, it bumps you up to that next level, right? And then you want to be in stock. When you stay in stock, you don't lose your history. And not losing your history is it's huge, right? Because if all of your history goes away, that's all of your ranking, that's all of your conversions, that's all of your clicks, that's all of your everything. And if you do all of those things, the last thing I would suggest that you do is be all in. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to just put all. Try every option. When an internet retailer launches a new initiative, try it. Don't be like, oh, it's new, I don't want to do it. No. In their algorithm, when you actually, the more you participate in all of their opportunities, the higher you get in their ranking. Because the goal here is to get on, those first couple of pages. You want to be on the, within, truthfully, the top 2 pages. That's what you really, really want here. And that's how you can be, knowing that you're going to get a lot of sales and reviews. So, I just to really make sure that we're understanding here, I'm going to go back up here. So under the competitive assortment, there are really 5 things you can do. It's your market analysis, it's your pricing, it's focusing on the things that are working, and you want to make sure you're doing research so that you can get really good reviews. And you need to double down on the algorithm and do what works in the algorithm. So what works in the algorithm, it's not rocket science. Okay, well, it is kind of rocket science, let's face it. But sweet spot pricing helps in your algorithm. All of these things that we talked about right here, TPC, reviews, this is where pricing comes into play. Reviews, promos, again, pricing comes into play. Being in stock and being all in and accepting kind of the rules of engagement of a given retailer. Don't fight it. They're not going to change. They don't care, So you might as well embrace the way they work, because that's how it's going to work for you. All right. So I think that about covers it today. If you have questions and want more information on any of this, just comment below on this video and say help and HELP, and I'll be able to reach out, and we'll reach out and help you. Also, if you have any other ideas that you would like to have us do some lives about, put idea in the comments below, and somebody, for either myself or somebody on the team, will reach out, and we will help you out. We'll do whatever we can. So next week we're going to talk a little bit more about the marketing side of the business and what goes into that. So there's lots of pieces of this puzzle, and we want to help you figure out all the different pieces. So all right, gang, team, have a great day. Hope you have hope all of this helped, and we'll talk again soon. See you Tuesday, 9:30. Be there.